Hello, children. Welcome to our next class in geography. The name of this lesson is agriculture. You all know that agriculture is a science as well as the art of cultivation of food crops, fiber crops, cash crops, oil seeds, and rearing livestock. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the three economic activities. There are three major economic activities: the primary activity, the secondary activity, and the tertiary activity. Primary activities include all those activities which are connected with the extraction and production of natural resources. For example, agriculture, fishing, mining, gathering forest products. Secondary activities are concerned with the processing of resources, that is, making steel out of ores, or baking bread out of flour, or weaving cloth out of cotton are examples of secondary activity. Tertiary activity consists of all service occupations such as the services of transport company, communication, trade, health, education, administration. All these are important examples of tertiary activities. These tertiary activities help in the development of the primary and secondary activities. Nearly 50% of the world population is engaged in agriculture, and two-thirds of India's population is still dependent on agriculture. Agriculture needs favorable land conditions as well as water and good climate. The land on which plants can be grown or cultivated are known as arable land. Apart from cultivation of crops and rearing of livestock, there are certain other forms of cultivation. These are sericulture, that is the cultivation of or rearing of silkworms; pisciculture, that is the breeding of fish in specially constructed tanks and ponds; viticulture is the cultivation of grapes; and horticulture is the growing of vegetables, flowers, and fruits for commercial or business use. These different kinds of cultivation can be considered to work in a system. This system is input, process, and output. The important inputs are seeds, fertilizers, machinery, and labor. When they are brought together and the services are given, then they are processed. Some of the operations involved are plowing, sowing, irrigation, weeding, and harvesting. After this processing, we get the final outputs through the result of crops, wool, dairy products, and poultry products. Different kinds of agriculture are practiced in different parts of the world. Depending upon the land condition, demand of the produce, labor, and the level of technology, farming can be classified as subsistence farming and commercial farming. The type of farming which is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family alone is known as subsistence farming. Traditionally, in this kind of farming, low levels of technology and people of the farmer's family are engaged in the agriculture activity. They produce the crops on a small quantity. Subsistence farming can be further classified as intensive subsistence farming and primitive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming. Under this type of farming system, the farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and more members from his family. The good climate, sunshine, and fertility of soil helps the farmer to grow more than one crop annually on the same plot. Rice is the main crop grown by the farmer's family. Other crops grown include wheat, maize, pulses, and oilseed. Intensive subsistence agriculture is mainly practiced in the monsoon regions of South, Southeast, and East Asia. The second type of subsistence farming is primitive subsistence farming, and it is further classified as shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Shifting cultivation is practiced in the thickly forested areas of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of Southeast Asia and Northeast India. These are the areas where there is heavy rainfall and quick regeneration of vegetation. Under this system, a plot of land is cleared by cutting down the trees and burning them. The ashes are then mixed with the soil and crops like maize, yam, potatoes, cassava are grown here. After the soil loses its fertility, the land is left and the cultivator goes to a new plot of land. This is known as shifting cultivation, also at times known as slash and burn agriculture. Herding is a rearing of animals and it is practiced in the semi-arid and arid regions of Sahara, Central Asia and some parts of India like Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir. Arid means dry places. In this type of farming, herdsmen move from place to place with their animals for fodder and water along the defined routes. Sheep, camel, yak and goats are most commonly reared. They provide milk, meat, wool, hides and other products to the herders and their families. You know that subsistence farming is the cultivation of crops for the farmer and his family. There is a type of farming in which farmer cultivates for sale in the market. So cultivation of crops for sale in market is known as commercial farming. In commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in market. The area cultivated and the amount of capital used is large. Most of the work is done by machine. Commercial farming includes commercial grain farming, mixed farming and plantation agriculture. In commercial grain farming, crops are grown for commercial or business purpose. Wheat and maize are most commonly commercially grown grain crops. Major areas where commercial grain farming is practiced in the temperate grasslands of North America, Europe and Asia. Here the population is very less and the farms are bigger, over hundreds of hectares. Severe winters restrict the growing season and only one single crop can be grown. In mixed farming, the land is used for growing food crops and fodder crops and rearing livestock. It is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. Plantations are a type of commercial farming where single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana or cotton are grown. Plantation agriculture requires a large number of labor as well as money. The agriculture produce is either processed in the farm itself or it is sent to the nearby factories to be processed into the finished product. The development of a transport system is very important for this kind of plantation farming. Major plantations are found in the tropical regions of the world. Rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka are some of the examples of plantation agriculture. Crops also supply raw materials to agricultural based industries, also known as agro based industry. Jute and cotton are fiber crops. These are also used by agro based industries to bring out the finished product for the market. Important beverage crops are tea and coffee. Rice is a major food crop of the world. It is the staple diet of the tropical and subtropical region. Rice needs high temperature, high humidity and rainfall. It grows best in alluvial and clayey soil which can hold water. China leads in the production of rice, followed by India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. Wheat requires moderate temperature and rainfall during growing season. It requires bright sunshine at the time of harvest. It is well grown in loamy soil. It is extensively grown in USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia, and India. In India, wheat is grown in winter season. Millets. Millets are also known as coarse grains and can be grown on less fertile or sandy soils. Needs low rainfall and high to moderate temperature and adequate rainfall. Jowar, bajra, and ragi are grown in India. Other countries which grow millets are Nigeria, China, and Niger. Maize requires moderate temperature, rainfall, and lots of sunshine. It needs well drained, fertile soil. Maize is grown in North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, India, and Mexico. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall, and bright sunshine for its growth. It grows well on black and alluvial soil. China, USA, India, Pakistan, Brazil, and Egypt are the leading producers of cotton. It is a raw material for the cotton textile industry. Jute is also known as golden fiber, and it grows well on alluvial soil and requires high temperature, heavy rainfall, and a humid climate. This crop is grown in the tropical areas. India and Bangladesh are the leading producers of jute. Coffee requires warm and wet climate and well drained loamy soil. Hill slopes are more suitable for the growth of this crop. Brazil is the leading producer, followed by Colombia and India. Tea is a beverage crop grown on plantation. This requires cool climate, well distributed high rainfall throughout the year for the growth of tea leaves. It needs well drained loamy soils and gentle slopes. Labor in large number is required to pick the tea leaves. Kenya, India, China, Sri Lanka produce the best quality tea in the world. Agricultural development refers to efforts made to increase the farm production in order to meet the growing demand of increasing population. This can be achieved in many ways, such as increasing the number of cultivating areas, increasing the number of crops grown, improving the irrigation facilities, using good quality of fertilizers and high yielding variety of seeds, and mechanization of agriculture. The ultimate aim of agricultural development is to increase the food security so that hunger is totally driven out from our world. Agriculture has developed at different places in different manners in different parts of the world. For example, intensive or subsistence form of agriculture is practiced mostly in developing countries with larger populations such as India, whereas commercial agriculture is practiced in literally small populated countries like the USA, Canada, and Australia. Here is a case study of farms in India and USA, which will help us in learning about agriculture in the developing and the developed country. A farm in India. Munna Lal is a small farmer from the district of Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh. His house is in the main village. He purchases high yielding varieties of seeds from the market every alternate year. The land is fertile and he grows at least 2 crops in a year, which are either wheat or rice and pulses. The farmer takes advice of his friends and elders as well as the government agriculture officers regarding the farming practices. He takes tractor on rent for plowing the field, tubewell in the nearby field which he takes on rent to irrigate his field. Munna Lal also has 2 buffaloes and a few hens. He sells milk in the cooperative store located in the nearby town. He is a member of the cooperative society, which also advises him on the type of fodder for his animals, safety measures to protect the health of the animals, and artificial insemination. All the members of the family help him in various farm activities. Sometimes he takes a loan from a bank to buy high yielding variety seeds known as HYV seeds and implements. He sells his produce in the mandi known as the local market in the nearby town. Since majority of the farmers do not have storage facilities, they are forced to sell the produce even when the market is not favorable to them. In recent years, the government has taken some steps to develop the storage facilities. Now, let's study a farm in the USA. The average size of a farm in the United States of America is much larger than that of an Indian farm. Typical farm size in the USA is about 250 hectares. The family generally resides in the farm. Some of the major crops grown are corn, soybean, wheat, cotton, and sugar beet. Joe Horan, a farmer in the Midwest USA in Iowa State, owns about 300 hectares of land. He grows corn on his field after making sure that soil and water resources meet the needs of the crop. Adequate measures are taken to control the pests that can damage the crop. From time to time, he sends the soil samples to a soil testing laboratory to check whether the nutrients are sufficient or not. The results help Joe Horan to plan a scientific fertilizer program. His computer is linked to the satellite, which gives him a precise picture of his field. This helps him to use chemical fertilizers and pesticides wherever they are required. He uses tractors, seed drills, leveler, combine harvester, and thresher to perform agriculture operations. The grains are stored in the automated grain storage or dispatched to the market agencies. The farmer in USA works like a businessman and not like a peasant farmer of India. Children, with that, I conclude today's geography lesson.